The right way to wire a pump is really going to be dependent on the motor that's installed. So every motor will have its own wiring diagram that will show you what configurations are acceptable to run each of the voltages listed on the motor. So it's very motor dependent. When customers go to wire their pumps up for the first time, we see that they just wire in their power leads and they're not checking the actual wiring diagram that comes with the motor to make sure that the motor is configured for their voltage supply. So what that means is most of our motors in the US that we use are rated for 208, 230 volt, a low voltage, and 460 volt high voltage. Inside our motors is a terminal block. It's like a little plastic block with screws and metal plates we call jumper bars. All of the wires from the motor connect to that, and then the customer connects their power wires to that as well. Generally, there are two different configurations of those jumper bars that need to be moved around in position depending on whether they're running low voltage, 230 volt three-phase, or high voltage like 460 volt three-phase power. So just checking. Usually from the factory we ship them wired for 460 volt, but it's very common for customers to have 208 volt or 230 volt power, and they're not always double checking to make sure the configuration is correct. The problem with that is if it's not wired for your voltage is you'll burn up the motor pretty much immediately. A lot of times these kinds of mistakes are happening because customers don't know to ask or they're not working with the certified electrician. So we always suggest if you have an electrician that you trust, always work with them to do your wiring and to confirm that the motor is wired correctly. It's important to know what your voltage is and to make sure you're getting adequate voltage supply. So it's 208 volt, three-phase power is very common in the United States, but we see a problem where the voltage will drop much lower than that to 200 volts or below. And the pumps can't run off of that voltage typically. Most of them cannot. It's not a sufficient enough power to run the motor. So what will happen is the pump will intermittently trip off or shut off while they're running. And the customers will call and be confused about why the pump's not running. And usually it's just that they don't have enough voltage. In those cases, we always suggest they talk to someone who can help them boost their voltage, either with a transformer or some other device that just gives them a little more power and keeps the voltage more steady for the pump.